This is the story of how I became a very organized person from a mess. Like I said, this video is a story time kind of video. I wanted to share with you my journey of how I became such an organized, such a planned, such a productive person. I wasn't always like this, trust me. And I want to tell you where I came from. So let's go back to my college years. I studied molecular biology and genetics. It is a fairly hard one, right? I was doing several things at a time as well as I'm doing now. I was teaching dancing. I was, part of the club in the department. I was doing many things. My general motto is, what else can I get out of this one life I have? Like I said, I was busy. I had a very social life. It was a full life. And I have some examples to explain how messy I was. The first one is unbelievable actually. When I started university, I had to take Biology 101. And obviously, since I like biology and I chose to study molecular biology and genetics, I went to the first class and I decided that I don't need to go to this class because I know all of those stuff from my high school years. So I decided not to go. Middle of the semester, one of my friends from my department comes to me in another classroom and she asks me, how did you do in the visa exam in the morning, the midterm? And I'm like, what? What exam? I missed I missed an exam. I didn't even know because I wasn't organized, because I didn't have it in my planner. I mean, I'm smiling right now, but can you imagine my shock? Because when you miss a visa, when you miss a midterm, you automatically fail that class. And that class is the first thing that you have to complete to be able to continue with your studies. That will add at least a year on top of my current 4-year studies. So it wasn't easy. The second one, same university example. I was living in a campus then, so you can imagine it was really easy for me to get to classes. It was like a 15-20 minute walk. And I was taking a physics class, I don't know which exactly. Anyway, that was a 9 a.m. class and I was literally 20 minutes away, but I wasn't very organized again. So I was chatting with my friends until 3 a.m., 4 a.m., which is okay. But I wasn't really thinking about what I'm doing. I was just living in the moment. We'll get back to that. But honestly, I was just, I wasn't organized. Again, I wasn't planned. I wasn't thinking. I started not being able to wake up for that class, and in my university, which is one of the, if not the biggest and most successful technical university, you have to have 70% attendance. If you don't go to 4 or 5 classes, again, you automatically fail. And I did. Again, this is massive because I had to retake this course during summer so I could continue on time. I had to sacrifice 3 months of my summer holidays that I was gonna have for another 2 years maximum after that. But I had to because I wasn't planned, I was super messy, so I literally just failed it because I was like that. I just said living in the moment. I was living in the moment and not for the future at all. Of course, it's great to live in the moment, but there has to be a balance so that you prepare and plan for the things that you want for your future, right? I had many goals and dreams for my future, so I figured, yeah, balance is key here. Another one, this is the biggest one. I can't believe I did this. Looking back, it's unbelievable. So I had one bachelor's thesis, one MBA master's thesis, and one MSc, master's in science thesis to give. This is over 10 years, right? All of these 3 theses, I left them to the last minute. I wrote them the last month. In my second master's, I wrote it in a week. And of course, it was horrible. And that to the side, it was the most stressful thing that I had to go through in my life. I had hair fallout problems. I had alopecia due to the stress that I put myself into just because I left things to the last minute and I had to write a full master's thesis in a week. This is study times, right? That happens when you're a student. Well, no. I started working in the pharmaceutical industry. I had a great job. It was paying really well. The only problem was I was living a little bit too far away from work. So I started staying with my best friend every once in a while. I was literally living out of a bag that's in my trunk. I had work outfits, I had cosmetic stuff. It was a mess, really. This is now physical organization, right? I couldn't find things. I was taking a dress to wear, but I didn't have tights, so I had to go find them or shop for that. I hate losing things. So the frustration to one side, but I was losing so much time trying to find my things or try to, buy things that I didn't think about taking. Also, when I was staying at my friend's, I was staying up with her late, again, chatting, this, that, didn't care about tomorrow morning, didn't think about tomorrow morning, so I started being late for work as well. I don't even have to tell you what happens when you start going to work late. I had many, many conversations with my manager and I hated being on the other side of that table. Why are you doing this? And I'm like, I don't know. I wanted to fix that problem. I wanted to do so much more with my life, but I couldn't being like that, Then I figured I had to be more organized. I need to be more planned if I want to do something with my future. If I want to get what I want from life, if I want to have a fulfilled life, I had to become better. And if you are not doing just one thing in your life right now, which I doubt, many of us have hobbies and families and this and that, I strongly recommend you do the same if you're not doing already, because to be able to juggle several things, you have to be organized. So when I figured out that I had to address this problem, the first thing I did was start watching YouTube videos. I started watching organization and planning videos, not fun things, not vlogs, but things that I thought that I would get something out of, a little thing at a time. And I thought once I, absorb a lot of information and a lot of little things, I will actually get my life in order. I started very small. I remember starting with organization. I started putting my bobby pins in these TikTok boxes because if you're a woman watching me right now, you probably know. I think there's a place somewhere, a void that just absorbs bobby pins. They just get lost all the time. Like you buy a pack and then a month later you can't find one. So I started doing that, like with this little thing that changed something in my life. I wasn't looking for bobby pins anymore. I wasn't like frustrated with my bun up trying to fix it. They were there in a box. Awesome. I just have to say now, I think inspiration or an idea that you have plus action will bring success. And that's what I started doing then. I got inspiration from the videos. I started doing them, planning them in, applying them to my life, and I was getting better one step at a time. I started being more mindful about time. I started being more mindful about my sleep, and I tried many things. I tried online platforms for note-taking, there are some apps out there, but I figured very quickly, if you don't open them, if you don't look at them, they don't do any good. So you have to, or I had to, find my system, the things that work for me. I started using a planner, which is the first thing many people do when they want to get organized, but it took me years until I found the system that works for me. And actually, that journey was a root of my own planner brand. I have a planner brand right now, and my goal with that was to give this to people, the flexibility and the ability to make it personal to you, like what you need in your system kind of thing. I tried everything that I thought would work for me. Hundreds of things. You gotta understand that there is no one size fits all when it comes to organizing your life or time management in general. So it's all about your personality, it's all about your lifestyle. I like having fun, I wanna be flexible, so finding that flexible organization and planning took me years and years. I tried hundreds of things to organize my life and my diary and my time in general. And it went from there. A shift happened in my mind. I started looking at things around me and I started thinking, how can I make this better? How can I optimize this so that it serves me the best possible way? And I started answering that question one at a time, fixing one thing in my life at a time. And I figured that I was actually taking the scientific approach. Being the scientist I am, I was looking at it like, what is my problem? What is out there? So a little bit of literature research. What is my hypothesis? So how can I fix this? Let's do experiments, test. And then, look at the result. If it worked, great, keep it. If it didn't, go back, iterate, fix a little bit, do another test. The only problem was there were so many tests. And this approach is actually the core of what I do right now. I'm a time management coach right now. Can you believe that? And this method is something that I think only I do, so we can call it the Gamze method even. Looking at things in a scientific way and constantly iterating to find the perfect solution for you. Right now, I am helping people with their time and organization. I want to help people get this system as fast as possible, so I give them the hypothesis myself, knowing what I know and doing the research that I did for years, because time is important, especially right now. And right now is the perfect time to start organizing and start being better at time management and, generally putting things in order. And nobody should actually go through the pain that I did. There are so many other resources out there right now. My channel is all about this. You can learn from other people's experiences. You don't really have to go through them yourself. So I just want to come up here and say, instead of losing years like I did and having all these problems and having to deal with, last minute things and missing classes and failing, years and stuff like that, just don't go there and do something about it. If you need help, there are so many coaches right now. Time coaches, life coaches, business coaches, whatever you need. If you need help to get this sorted as soon as possible, ask for help, get help. Or find online resources. But do something so that you don't have the problems that I had. I'm leaving the goal setting worksheet down in the description if you want to use it for, breaking things to smaller steps, and you'll get an email explaining how you use it. But, just my little help for today for you. If you want to start planning out the things that you want in the long term, right now is the perfect time to start. Let me know if my story resonated with you at all. I know that many people think that I was always like this and I was always very organized, planned and, on point. I wasn't. So let me know where you are at your journey, and don't forget to download that freebie. I think it will really help you. Don't forget to subscribe for useful videos like this about time management in general and being more organized. Stay healthy, stay positive, and stay productive. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.